Welcome, Total Pole Nation. It's Lambo's World of Sports, presented by Sideline Sports Network. We got a lot of NFL topics we're going to cover today. We are about 2 days away from the first NFL preseason game. I think there's a lot of things that's going on as well. So, as of today, we're going to be talking about, Richard Sherman joins Undisputed. The Lions signed Teddy Bridgewater. How aggressive the Lions are. You've got, Jared Goff as a veteran. And Teddy Bridgewater, a veteran who's been around the NFL for a very long time, and the quarterback battle in Tampa Bay. So after Tom Brady being gone, you got Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask trying to compete for the number one spot um, for the future of Tampa Bay. So I'm gonna get into that. So Baker Mayfield has been in the league for about 5-6 years. I think he was the number one number one draft pick. I think in 2018, I assume he was drafted by the Cleveland Browns. He was there for about 4 years, and he took them to the playoffs in 2020 after they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask. I heard there was a lot of struggles going on. Kyle Trask was drafted in 2020 from the University of Florida. So I think, in my opinion, on this and how this works is who will win the starting job. So you have head coach, second year head coach, Todd Bowles, who replaced Bruce Arians after the loss in 2021 to the Rams. So there's a lot of good things going on along those lines, but there's not really any hints for those quarterbacks competing for the starting job. And also, the Buccaneers will play the Steelers on Friday as far as the preseason game. So we'll see how that goes. And also, it's a possibility that whoever plays well against the Steelers will probably be the starting quarterback going forward. Um, so you have offensive coordinator, and they have offensive coordinator in Dave Canales, who replaced Brian Leftwich last year. That the quarterback spot for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has tightened up, and what you will see on Friday is who's going to win that job. Now, who do I think is going to win the job? I think Kyle Trask has some very, very good potential. I think Baker Mayfield had his chances. I'm not down in Baker Mayfield, but every time Baker Mayfield has won the starting job, he's been inconsistent. I mean, look what he did with the Carolina Panthers. He won the job. He beat Sam Darnold out. He was inconsistent. He wasn't that good. And then, he played with the Rams last year, defending Super Bowl champions the year before. Matthew Stafford was hurt. They had Josh Johnson, I think, a quarterback last year. So Baker Mayfield came in. He had some very good, moments here and there. But Baker Mayfield just isn't the answer. So I think Kyle Trask, the 2020 pick out of the University of Florida, will win this starting job. We will see how that goes. Like I said, the Buccaneers still have the same. The Buccaneers still have the same roster. I mean, you still have Mike Evans. You still have Chris Godwin. You still have Russell Gage. You have Devin White. So I mean, they're missing pieces here and there, but I mean, they still have the same wide receiver cores and whatnot. Chase Edmonds at the running back position will be something interesting, and then you also have David Moore as well. You still have that good offensive lineman and whatnot. So Tristan Wirfs, very excellent left tackle, right tackle. So we'll see how that goes. I think Kyle Trask is going to, win it. So now I'm gonna get into the Lions. Now I made a video previously about the Detroit Lions. Will they win the division? Will they win the NFC North? And my question for that fact is no. I think the Minnesota Vikings will win the NFC North because they were 13-4 last year. Now Kirk Cousins was a good quarterback, but I think everybody slept on head coach Kevin O'Connell last year. Not expecting the Vikings to go off in the first year head coach, but Teddy Bridgewater signed to the Detroit Lions. So he'll sign on the 1-year deal. He will reunite with his former, head coach and Dan Campbell, who was the Saints assistant head coach and tight ends coach with Bridgewater signed with New Orleans after that horrific injury. Um, Teddy Bridgewater for the Lions, he's going to add that depth behind Jared Goff, who is, Detroit. He's a cut clear starter. The Lions were looking for the highest level of insurance to bring in another backup just in case, Jared Goff got hurt. I think Teddy Bridgewater is a right decision. He's been everywhere. Teddy Bridgewater last year was with the Miami Dolphins. That didn't really work out so well because he got hurt, and then they had Skylar Thompson. I think Skylar Thompson showed a lot of hard work, a lot of grit, and whatnot. So Golf was healthy all of last season. Detroit's depth at the position wasn't strong. Um, their punter, Jack Fox, was literally their only player on the roster to complete a pass. So, and then backup quarterback Nate Sudfeld did appear in 2 games, but didn't register any stats. So technically, the Lions did not have a quarterback of any type of emergency. Um, but Bridgewater did visit the Lions in July, but Dan Campbell, the head coach, weren't interested in him at the time. So Dan Campbell's in year 3 as the head coach. They're in much better position now, and they want to leave it in the best hands possible. Like I said, the Detroit Lions went 9-8 last year after starting, 1-7. Now Nate Sudfeld is not out of the question, but whatever works out is they want to have a veteran guy. They want to have the experienced guy in there. So we will see how that goes with that. I think Teddy Bridgewater is better than Nate Sudfeld. I mean, the last time Nate Sudfeld played, I think he was with the Philadelphia Eagles and whatnot. So we will have to see what goes along the lines. Teddy Bridgewater spent a 1-year deal, $6.5 million last year. He was Tua backup with the Miami Dolphins. He was filling in when he was injured, but he was also injured as well. He started 2 games, but like I said, he got hurt in Week 5 against the Jets, played some concussion protocol, and then he also got hurt his pinky hand in Week 17. I think it was against the Patriots. I think it had to be against the Patriots. Yeah, against the Patriots. And then Skylar Thompson came in and he had a regular great AFC wild card game. So they got rid of Teddy Bridgewater because he hasn't been the same since he, messed up his knee or whatnot. So Teddy Bridgewater he's completed 62% of the 79 passes with 683 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Prior to joining the Dolphins for Teddy Bridgewater, he started 29 games over 2 seasons for the Carolina Panthers, Denver Broncos, and he was a 2014 first-round pick who played for the Minnesota Vikings. For 8 NFL seasons, he threw for about 15,120 yards and 75 touchdowns against 47 interceptions, while completing 66.4% of his passes. He's also rushed for 84 yards and another 11 touchdowns. So the Lions are aggressive. They're going to bring in a backup. The Lions will compete to win the NFC North, but I don't think they'll win it. I think the Minnesota Vikings do. So bringing a backup quarterback for Dan Campbell and the Lions, very, very smart because you never know when Jared Goff will go down. Now, there's a lot of things going on. The last thing we're going to talk about is Undisputed, baby. Yes, Undisputed has a lot of things going on. Undisputed has been shut down, I think, ever since Shannon Sharp has left the show. So I think Shannon Sharp's last show was like after the end of the NBA Finals, and the show went on the hiatus. So Undisputed is on FS1. So they hadn't had anybody. Apparently, they found somebody. The person they found was Hall of Famer Richard Sherman, will join Skip Bayless on Fox Sports Undisputed. He will replace Shannon Sharp. Unfortunately, it's not me replacing, Shannon Sharp. It's Richard Sherman. Now, I respect Richard Sherman. I've been a good, big Richard Sherman fan back in the days. I mean, he's very aggressive corner. He's a good draft pick out of the University of Stanford. He's moving up in the media sports world because Richard Sherman also does Thursday Night Football for Amazon as well. He will be the new co-host for Fox. He's going to set to join Skip Bayless. Now, they know they had controversy back then, back in 2013, 2014, when Skip Bayless was on First Take, and, he said he was better than him in life. I think it was a very funny promo back then. Well, not a promo. I think it was really funny what Richard Sherman said, because he was that guy when he played for Seattle Seahawks. But the deal has not been signed yet, but the agreement is in place. The rumors of Sherman joining Bayless in the studio began circulating last month, where the Post reported such. Now it seems like the talks have progressed in the final stages. Skip Bayless has been looking for a new co-host since June when Shannon Sharp left the show. The show has been on the hiatus, but it is scheduled to return on August 28th. On the Skip Bayless show, on his podcast, there's a possibility that he will bring Lil Wayne on the show because Lil Wayne has a new theme song for the Undisputed show, and I think Lil Wayne will somewhat be on the show. So I guess Lil Wayne might be like the primary guy on the show as well. So we'll see how that goes. But Sherman would not be on the show every day because Richard Sherman does Thursday Night Football for Amazon. And he'll do apparently maybe 50 to 100 shows a year, which is not bad. But they're still looking at other potential candidates as well. Former NFL receiver and ESPN analyst Keyshawn Johnson, and like I mentioned before, rapper Lil Wayne. Now, Lil Wayne can talk sports. You know, he has a theme song and whatnot for the place, but I think Lil Wayne and Skip Bayless are literally best friends. So I think it won't be the same with Shannon Sharp, but I think Lil Wayne will bring some potential. And Keyshawn Johnson, I mean, of course, he knows the game of football. He was a great receiver and whatnot. But Richard Sherman began working with Amazon as of last football season. He will retain his job at Amazon, even though he joined Undisputed. Like I said, Richard Sherman back then, he was arguably the best corner in his era. 8 seasons in Seattle. Sherman was a 3-time first-team All-Pro selection. The Legion of Boom, baby. The Legion of Boom on defense. After he left Seattle in 2018, he spent time with the San Francisco 49ers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before retiring in the 2021 season. So Richard Sherman will bring, a lot of voice. He will bring a lot of opinions. He's very vocal. He speaks a lot of facts. Richard Sherman has never been shy about voicing his opinions. Even while he was at the peak of his NFL career, he will be joining Undisputed. Now, are they still going to have the beef they had 8 years ago? I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I think it was 8 years ago. So I think Skip Bayless and Richard Sherman will be fine. But, we'll see how that goes. Richard Sherman's a great fit for Undisputed, but also, like I said, he's only going to be doing about 50 to 100 shows a year. So the key potential candidates was going to be, Lil Wayne or Keyshawn Johnson. By the way, LeSean McCoy is I think apparently out of the deal trying to be with Undisputed. So LeSean McCoy said, no, I don't want to be with Skip Bayless. So, he's not that guy. But that's all I have for LAMBO'S World of Sports. Thank you, Totem Pole Nation. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is LAMBO'S World of Sports, presented to you by Sideline Sports Network. We'll tune in. We'll be catching you later on.